So but you'll drink like on a Friday night, Saturday night if you go out.
Yeah.
You hit it hard or no?
No, I'm a lightweight, so I keep it easy.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you a club goer?
I love the club. I love dancing. I love like being in upbeat environments. So that's.
Are you a hip hop girl or are you a EDM?
I like it all.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So what's your go-to club here in Vegas? Like if you get to pick Saturday night, you end up where?
I like Omnia just because there's more like, I feel like every time I go, I either know somebody or I like have my own space, which is something that I like. I like to, not that general admission is wrong at all because I'm not against that.
Yeah.
But I like to have my own space to sit down, to order whatever I want and it be right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a girl,
and you can't be out there with the, And then in Omnia, there's all those different rooms, right?
Yep, they have the like an EDM room. They have the heart room for hip hop, and they have. But my favorite thing is, I guess, the normal room, which would be the EDM room. Yeah, that's my favorite.
Yeah. We were there a few years ago. My buddy did security for Calvin Harris.
Okay.
And so I know this is normal for you ladies, but we ended up in the DJ booth, a bunch of guys, which is not normal.
Usual. Yeah. Unless you know someone.
Right. And it was a blast. But Calvin never turned around one time to look at us. Literally not one time.
And Vegas Junkeez, we are live in 5, 4, 3,
2, 1. Boom. Yeah. So as I was saying, we were at Omnia, and in Calvin Harris's booth the whole night. He never turned around and even like nothing. It was like we weren't even there.
I feel like he has a bunch of rules.
That's his thing.
Like I don't know if you he can't have certain people like behind him. Not whenever he's in a venue where there's tables behind him, but if he's facing the crowd, he doesn't want anyone behind him. I think also is like, I worked an event where Calvin Harris was the headliner back in Charlotte, North Carolina. And
wait, is that where you're from?
So long story short, I lived there for 7 years, but I was born in Georgia and did most of my growing up in Florida.
Okay. So how old were you when you were in North Carolina? South Carolina?
North Carolina.
North Carolina.
Mm-hmm. I was there from 2010 until 2017.
What city?
Charlotte.
In Charlotte. Wow. Did you ever go to Bar Charlotte?
Oh my God.
So my buddy Bob Durkin owns that place.
I'm friends with Bob Durkin.
Come on.
No, seriously, you want me to call him right now?
No, but kind of. Let's text him after.
He's like, we're so close.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my God, that's crazy. I have not talked to him in a long time.
Yes. So he told me actually whenever I was thinking about, I worked for him for 10 years.
Oh wow.
So yeah, but crazy. Not at Bar Charlotte.
Oh, okay.
That is hilarious though that you even mentioned
Where
that.
Else? He owns a bunch of bars, right? He's got like 30 of them or something crazy.
He has a company called BMG, which is Bar Management Group, and it includes Sweet, which is the place that I worked at. I also worked at Whiskey River, and I worked at Whiskey River in Florida before that. Him and a group of people were convinced I was dating a boy, and they were all trying to convince me to move to Charlotte. I moved to Charlotte, and then I ended up changing venues.
Okay.
And yeah.
Wow. And then how did you end up in Vegas?
So I was living in California, and then I picked up some work in Georgia, so I still had my place in California. And then
in LA or
Manhunt Beach, so an outskirt of it.
Yep.
And then I decided that I would pick up some work because I wasn't making that much money whenever I was living in California. So I went back to Georgia for what was supposed to be 3 months, ended up being something around 6 months. And then I decided that I wanted to start a nonprofit, and so I haven't started it yet.
Okay.
So, but in the process,
a lot of work goes into that.
A lot of work goes into that.
To be a 501c3, right?
Yes.
It's like it's a lot. You have to
There's
get a board, and there's a whole,
Yeah. You know.
Yeah.
So I still haven't done that, but my whole intention of moving to Vegas was so that way I could start a nonprofit and be closer to potential investors. And since this is like the convention capital, people want to be, people throw their money around here like it's nothing.
Right.
And so why not invest in a good cause?
Yeah. And what would the cause be?
So I would like to start a nonprofit called Signs of Wellness, and I would like to be a wellness instructor for deaf people. And I want to do it through an app. and that way I can target a bigger demographic than just locals wherever I may be. Because
do you know sign language?
Yes, it's my second language.
Oh wow! There's obviously a connection to this, right? Or like why?
Why?
Yeah.
Well, so I was, I guess, looking for my calling, since I was just feeling a little dry. Like at each end, I was, okay, well, this isn't giving me like self-fulfillment.
Like working in nightlife, kind of.
Right. I mean, not that. Don't get me wrong. I love working in nightlife. I love networking. I love talking. I love socializing. That kind of stuff is something that I heavily enjoy. But I also was feeling like I wanted to do more. I wanted to feel good about my job and every day going into work and feeling like I am doing something greater than myself.
Sure.
More for, I guess, but that would still be for me. You know, it still would make me feel good.
Right.
And so, and that's why I was very appreciative when you invited me to the
Mia St. John
event.
Right.
Yes. So I love working and going to different charity events, and that type of feeling, it just feels really good to feel like I'm giving back, or to be a part of something that is giving back to a community for a greater good. And so at first, I was an NBA dancer, and my body.
What team?
For the Charlotte Hornets.
For Charlotte Hornets? Okay.
Yes. And then so I decided that I wanted to be understanding what was going on with my body, because I don't know if my metabolism was just very good or whatever, but I was working out a lot, and I just wanted to understand the inside of my body, and why my body was reacting to certain things, and like why I was like getting more cut than some of these other girls who had been dancing their entire lives.
Right.
So I just wanted to understand.
Interesting.
And so that is what made me want to start. I went to online at NASM, which is National Academy of Sports and Medicine. I am still in the process of getting my personal trainer's license, and that's a part of that process that I would have to get for that nonprofit that I want to start. But that is where that began.
Okay.
And then I moved out to California, and I at first thought, oh wow, like this place is so great. Everywhere you go, it's just so beautiful. I could do outdoor classes and make people feel good about themselves, and it would make me feel good about myself. And then so I looked into that, and that was way expensive for the stuff that I was able to do.
Yeah.
You would have to have waivers for the area. The local governor would have to approve of all of this stuff. It was just lots of things that I was realizing would be not roadblocks, but probably harder for me than most people.
Yeah.
And so then that's what made me decide, oh, maybe I should do it online or through an app instead of, having like a different place every time and it being like that. And at first I wanted to do like once a month, and then like I have a whole book of exercises and different things for different body types and things that work and stimulate the mind and make you feel good about yourself. And that was the whole point. I want to make people feel good about themselves without feeling like they have problems or issues, or like they can't connect with people because of a language barrier.
Right.
So
interesting. How long did it take to learn sign language?
It actually is very easy, and there's multiple different kinds, but American Sign Language is what I took.
Okay.
There's different ones for like Australia, and like, so people that do speak English, they still have different.
Interesting.
Yeah. So
I never almost like a dialect. Almost.
Yeah.
Oh.
And so and like, I don't speak Spanish, but how there's like, verbiage for male, female,
sure.
la.
Yep. L,
whatever. Yeah,
ends in an O, ends in a masculine, feminine.
Yeah.
I used to be a partner in a company that made mobile apps.
Okay.
And I'm friends with Marley Matlin, and we actually built a teaches you how to do sign language.
That's amazing. I didn't even know that.
With Marley Matlin. This was maybe 10 years ago. And even with the app, I still couldn't learn it. I don't know why, but I just have ADD, I guess.
I have ADD too, so it's all good.
That's rough. Yeah. When you moved to LA or Manhattan Beach, same thing. Did you know anyone? I would think that was nerve-wracking, right?
Oh, absolutely. It was like probably one of the worst experiences I've ever had.
Right. Expensive and nerve-wracking.
So I had previously rented or got an Airbnb for this place in Brentwood, and it was $2,800 for a month, and it was a guest house by the pool.
Okay, well that's
and
a nice
so it
setup.
was not connected.
But $2,800, that's expensive.
It was expensive, but it was very nice.
Yeah, I'm
and
sure.
I wanted my transition to be good because I still had my apartment in Charlotte, and this was the first time I was moving somewhere without having that job security, and I was normally...
You kept the apartment in Charlotte in case I don't like LA kind of thing?
Kind of.
Security blanket?
That a little bit,
Okay.
but I did not want to do that. I didn't want to go back, but just in case it was necessary.
Yeah. Where in LA? I don't know if you want to give the exact, or in Brentwood, what street were you on?
I don't remember, so
okay.
There's a whole story for this.
Oh.
So I got the Airbnb. Originally, my mother was supposed to drive cross country with me.
Okay.
And then about 7 or 8 people got laid off at her job, and so she was not able to take off anymore. She had to pick up the slack. And then, so originally I was not going to have my cat with me, but I brought my cat cross country with me.
I love you for that. Okay.
Thank you.
I have Petrie the cat, and we have new Mocha that we just rescued. But
Very
keep
nice.
going.
Okay. So I drove cross country, stopped a few times, stopped in Texas, stopped in Arizona.
Stopped in Amarillo?
I stopped in, I want to say it was Fort Worth.
Okay.
I think. And so I stopped there, then I stopped in Arizona, and I messaged the lady and said, hey, I was thinking about staying in Arizona one more night. Would that be possible? Because, they would have to give me a key or whatever. So they said, oh, of course, that's fine. So long story short, I did that, and then I went to the house that I was supposed to be at in Brentwood, and I put my cat in my cat stroller, came up to the door, and rang the doorbell and knocked, and the lady and her husband came to the door, and then they would not let me stay because I had a cat. And in the fine clause, it says that you cannot have any animals whatsoever, and they wouldn't give me my money back because it was after it was 72 hours prior if you do a cancellation, and you could get half your money back. But if you, after the fact, and because I had a cat, they wouldn't let me stay.
That's not right.
I was hotel hopping with the rest of my money that I had during spring break and Easter.
This is when? How many years ago?
2017.
Wow, this is recent. Okay.
So then, my heart was broken. I was literally crying, calling my mom, Mom, can you help me find hotels that are animal friendly?
And did you even know LA well enough to know where you shouldn't stay?
No.
Because that's
no.
It's a game of inches in LA, right?
Yeah,
you don't want to be
100%.
too far east of La Brea. You don't want to be south of Pico.
Right?
There's so many rules.
100%.
Yeah.
Oh, and Crenshaw's bad.
Right.
I don't know. These are things that I was told,
Some
and I was
streets sound nice, but not nice. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So, and I had a few friends that lived out there, but I am not one to ask for favors.
Right.
So I didn't. And then my cousin ended up calling me on Easter, and he used to live in LA, and he was like, hey, you should hit up Walter. Him and his family, they own multiple houses, and sometimes they rent them out, sometimes they don't. If he even has a couch for you to stay on, he would let you stay on his couch. That's how I ended up staying. That's how I ended up having a roommate and staying in Manhunt Beach.
Got it.
But that was probably one of the hardest times I've ever had to deal with because I didn't really know that many people, and I had only been to
How
LA
long were you
twice
hotel
before
hopping?
that. Oh, I was
Like a
hotel
week
hopping.
or two?
3 weeks.
3 weeks. That's a long time.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
And hotels were not cheap.
Right.
And I had to have them pet friendly because I'm
Right.
a bad liar. You tell me, are there any pets? Yes.
Yeah.
I can't. It's just.
Even the shitty hotel, a Best Western, a motel, whatever, on Sunset.
Yeah.
$150 a night.
It was
whatever.
300 or more every night.
Yeah, in a
every
place
I
that you
stayed.
shouldn't be.
Oh, and I was like driving an hour this way, an hour that way, just to stay, because everything was like, well, we only have 2 nights this time because it was during spring break and during Easter. So I was like, this is the hardest thing ever.
And so what turned it around? So you got the place in Manhunt Beach.
Yeah, I ended up staying with Walter, and then I was still struggling. I ended up finding a job in Santa Monica, and I was working at 1212 bartending, and it was one of those things where I just felt like I came from a community that really loved me. And then I was like in this community of like unknown territory. I didn't really have that many friends. I did end up making really good friends along the way. I'm still friends with probably almost every single person I was friends with back then. And I'm very thankful and very appreciative of every opportunity and every setback, because it's, helped me along the way.
Yep.
But it was definitely one of the hardest times I've ever had to deal with.
Wow. And then
I called Airbnb. They gave me a $100 voucher for all of that, because they said, we're really sorry about this. And I was like, I'm hotel hopping right now because of this.
Right.
And I was like, y'all could have just said, why don't you try and put your cat up and you can stay here, something like that. I got no
and that's expensive
help.
too.
It would have
and then the cat's miserable.
Exactly.
You would think, I get it if you were in their the main house. But
correct.
A guest house, give me a break.
Oh, and the lady wanted to. All right, so it was an older couple, and the lady wanted to let me in. The older man, her husband, whatever, said absolutely not. We stated it in the fine print. That is why.
Sucks.
Blah blah blah.
And that's one of those things that, had you probably left the cat in the car, got the key, right?
But
so
I'm
like, no, of course.
You know what I mean?
Right, no, I know. But does that haunt you? Where you're at the time where you're
no,
damn it.
because I wouldn't have been a good liar either. If they saw the cat, they would have been like, oh yeah, this is Frenchie.
Right. You could have been like, she identifies as a small baby though. That, hence the stroller, It is 2017, you could have got away with that.
Yes,
Well, she's transitioned to small child.
100%,
She's an infant in her head. Yeah. I don't know. Give it a shot next time, if there is a next time. Yeah. And so, when did you get to Vegas?
So I got to Vegas March of 2018.
Okay. And so where are you working now?
Right now I work at Chateau nightclub at the Paris.
Oh,
and
okay.
I know a lot of people say, oh, that's still open.
Right, yeah, it's funny you said that. That was going to be my initial reaction.
Yeah,
because I remember when that place was hot for a minute.
Yeah.
And you like it there? Or?
I actually really like it there. It's like a family community. I've had a lot of situations where I've needed time off of work, and they've been more than willing to accommodate anything I've ever needed. They're so sweet. They make me feel good about coming into work. They're very, I would say, not laid back, but very open for movement.
And they're not, like a lot of the clubs like Omni and stuff, obviously they're DJ driven. What is Chateau? Do they have big DJs in, or is it more like old school, like just nightclub, like just come party, have fun?
Almost like that, but we do have good DJs that come through. I don't know if you've ever heard of Club Killers, but we have a group of them that come in all the time. We've also had like Brooke Evers. We've had.
Oh, I know Brooke. Yeah.
And we have a bunch of different.
Brooke is married now to one of the chain smokers, right? Or not chain smoker?
No, one of the fitness dude.
Isn't he? I thought he was a DJ. No, I might be wrong. Okay.
I don't know. Yeah, no, you're good.
Brooke Evers from Australia, the blonde.
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Just making sure. Okay.
No, yes. And then and we have lots of like high-end clientele come in. What I would say like old school, like Salt and Pepper type of people.
Yeah.
Coolio comes in, like older groups of people. Not older, but like.
And you probably get tons of like when there's conventions in town. That's their
it's
spot,
such a great,
right?
And honestly, I really like the environment. It's
not
open.
as pretentious.
It's not as pretentious. You can still late at night, if I have like a group of people message me and say, hey, I got like 15 people coming through, I just message our host and then they get them through. And it's like not a hassle. They're very welcoming and I really like that. And anytime I have people come in town, either they've known about the club or they come and they feel comfortable. They feel like, oh, this person's not gonna not let me through just because they don't think I'm cute type thing. Like where I feel like
I hate that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
No,
I
totally
hate
get it. I totally get it too.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things where I feel like I can invite anybody and they feel like happy that they're there.
Vegas, I love. I grew up in LA my whole life, and I've always loved Vegas. I went to UNLV way back before you were born. And,
oh, is that when you graduated?
Yeah, I graduated in '88.
Yeah, but
so
you're saying,
I was at UNLV here in '88.
Okay.
Yeah. Graduated high school.
That's what I was about to ask.
Yeah. I ended up dropping out of college with a semester to go, but that's a whole separate story. But I never used to understand why people would talk shit about LA when I grew up there and lived there. I loved LA my whole life.
Right.
It wasn't until moving here. When I go back to LA now, I still have to go back a couple times a month for like meetings. I can't stand being in LA. Unless I'm there for a Dodger game, I'm over it. I don't want to be there. I hate the traffic. I hate the people. I hate the nightlife. I hate the bullshit. LA's the only city, like you could know the owner of the club, you could know the guy at the door, and you still can end up standing outside for a long time because there's just somewhere cooler, more famous, more whatever, richer, whatever the magic potion is.
Right.
Vegas is really not like that.
No.
They really do take care of their own here. Everyone's way nicer, even in the club scene. I think it's just I love Vegas. I
like it too, and honestly, I feel like it makes it easier because this is a transplant city. No one's really from here.
Right.
Everybody's coming from so many different walks of life, trying to better themselves, trying to do something else, and I really appreciate that aspect of Vegas.
Now, living here, how are you on the friend side of things? Like, have you been able to meet lots of like locals, girlfriends and stuff, or is it?
I feel like I have a good group of girls, but it's really cool because, so my girlfriend that lived here before, when I moved to California, she moved to Vegas.
Okay.
And then she would come see me, and I would come here and see her. But she was telling me, Rebekah, you just need to come out here. And, I was like, oh, I was working in Georgia. And then she was like, Rebekah, just come.
In Atlanta?
Savannah.
Savannah, okay.
And so she was like, you should just move to Vegas. That would help out your nonprofit that you want to do.
Right.
And pretty much convinced me that I should come here. So then I came here, and Chateau actually hit me up on Instagram, wanted to interview me.
Really? They hit you up?
Yeah, so it was really exciting. It was
What did you do? You posted something and put #Vegas or something and they found you?
I don't know.
Or they just found you? Funny how people just find the hot girl on Instagram.
Well, I had a friend who I did a True Fusion class with, and she was working there, and then I think she was scrolling through her Instagram, and they asked her, who is that? Is she looking for a job? And she asked me, and I said, yes, if I can get a job here, then I would have job security, and then I could move here. So then I did that, and then everything just fell into place.
And Chateau's not the kind of place like if you're at Hakkasan, where you have to like audition every year. Or
no, you don't. Yeah, you don't have to do that, and which makes it feel comfortable.
Right.
And they're very inviting, and it's not so much. Not that I'm saying Hakkasan is catty. I don't know. I've never worked there.
Yeah.
But I don't have that that environment where I'm nervous if my sales are high or low or whatever. It's just a very you did great, a very uplifting environment, and I really like that.
Those girls at Encore Beach Club and Access, I'm not sure if Access is the same, but I know at Encore Beach Club, not only do they have to work the shift, they have to bring X amount of people, hire their own promoter.
Correct.
That's got to be stressful.
Right.
That's too much.
And see, that's another thing that I really like about Chateau. I don't have to put people on my guest list. I don't have to bring in a certain amount of people. I don't have to sell a certain amount. I don't have to put stuff up on my social media. I don't have to do outings. I don't have
to do... Which makes you want to do all of it.
Correct. Yeah. No, 100% though.
Right.
And because before at the place that I worked at in Charlotte, we had to do all of that. We had to post on our social media. We had to do promos. We had to go flyer. We had to do things where we would talk about why you would want to be having your experience at our club, and why you would want to come to our place over any other place. We had to do that all the time.
Right.
And here it's very just laid back. And
That's cool.
And it's nice.
And when you're not working, what do you do for fun? Are you a sports chick? Are you what do you do?
I like sports, but I I like hiking. I like being active. I like doing things. I would say that I mainly go to hike or go to venues if I know like good music is going to be there.
Yep.
I do go to Encore Beach Club a lot.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, because I do like the DJs that play there.
Who are some of your favorite DJs?
Some of my favorite DJs that play at Encore?
Yeah, or just in general.
In general, I really like DJ Snake. I like David Guetta. I like Rufus Du Sol. I like stuff like soft, but not like too crazy.
I got it. Yeah.
But I like stuff that you want to dance
Groovy,
to. Makes you
yeah. I got you. Very cool. Thanks for sitting down with me
of course,
today. This was
definitely,
fun.
yeah.
I'm always nervous when I slide into the DM. They're gonna be like, "What? What are we doing?" But see, it wasn't that bad,
Yeah,
right?
no, not
there
bad
you
at
go.
all, yeah.
All right. Follow Rebekah Long.
Okay, a little bit of post-show action.
Post-show action.
Post-show action, I've created a game.
Oh yeah.
This game has been heard of before. It's called This or That.
Oh.
You've got 20 seconds.
This or that.
10 questions.
Okay.
This or that right off the top
Okay. Pizza or sushi?
Pizza. So I guess this.
Netflix and chill or go to a movie?
That. Go to a movie.
Go to a movie. Baseball or football?
Ooh, depends.
On.
So if it's a team that I like, then football. If it's baseball, I just like watching baseball. My cousin
You like
used
the guys
to be
in tight pants. Is
their
what it goes
butts.
down
Their
to.
butts are good, but my cousin used to pitch for the Mets. So I.
What? Wait, who's your cousin?
Zachary Dotson.
What year is that? Do you know? Do you remember?
He got drafted right out of high school.
90s? 2000?
2000s,
Like 04 maybe?
maybe before or after that. After that, he is
05?
after that.
Oh, way after? Okay. My buddy Chris Benson played for the Mets.
Okay,
Yeah,
very
he
exciting.
was there, I'm trying to remember, maybe 05, 06, something like that. Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
All right. Celine Dion or Christina Aguilera?
Christina Aguilera.
Miriam's raising her hand. She likes that one. Okay. Chris Angel or David Copperfield?
I've never seen Chris Angel, so I'm going to go with Chris Angel because I've already seen David Copperfield.
Okay. America's Got Talent or American Idol?
America's Got Talent
Really?
because there's dancing.
See that, Natalini? You watching, Natalini? All right. Well, thanks again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
That was fun.